The graveyard was quiet and dark on that night. The moon hid behind the clouds, and the stars illuminated the gravestones with their faint light. Henry, a young boy, had decided to explore the graveyard with his friends, feeling brave. They entered through the gates and walked along the dirt paths, the shadows cast by the branches swaying in the gentle breeze starting to unnerve them. Henry gathered his courage and pressed on. Then, he stopped by a gravestone. Names and dates were etched onto it, bearing the weight of years gone by. Henry leaned in, trying to read the inscription. Suddenly, amidst the surrounding silence, he heard a strange rustling. He turned to look for his friends but couldn't see them. Panic rising, he looked around and suddenly noticed a figure emerging from the shadows. As it slowly approached, Henry felt a shiver run down his spine. The figure, shrouded in darkness, appeared suddenly between the gravestones and stood before Henry. Henry felt frozen in place. The figure's face was obscured, merely a dark outline. As Henry stared in fear, the figure began to speak, but the language was incomprehensible. It was nothing but a strange whisper. Henry's heart began to race. He looked around but couldn't see his friends. The figure took a step closer, and the darkness surrounding him seemed to deepen. Henry tried to run, but his steps led him nowhere. Suddenly, the figure reached out towards him, hands outstretched. Henry screamed as he jolted awake. He wasn't in the graveyard but in his bed. It had all been a dream. However, the image of that dark figure lingered in his mind. Perhaps he wasn't in the graveyard, but the fears lurking in the darkness were still with him.